After 2 weeks on the road, Notre Dame has returned to campus, and maybe their first stop should be here to atone for the cardinal sins of turnovers and poor tackling committed last Saturday in Louisville.
You can't turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win.
And once those sins are reconciled, maybe there's a trip here to restore belief that has been lost like yardage on 3rd and 1.
I think we just kind of got on our heels a little bit with our confidence level.
Because while Father Corby still offers absolution for the past, Moses points onward to the future and who and what is coming.
The greatest college rivalry of all is Notre Dame versus the University of Southern California.
The enemy is literally at the Newt Rockne gate. USC has wreaked more havoc on Notre Dame than any other foe, and with the reigning Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, the Trojans look for their first win at the stadium since 2011.
They got an extremely good football program. They're 6-0, and it's a tough challenge for us, but we'll be ready.
So in the lengthening shadows of touchdown Jesus, Notre Dame must say a prayer, play like a champion, and offer their most golden effort of the year with one mission in mind.
Find something that you can do better to make sure that we beat USC. And
out there on the outside, that J.D. Bertrand. That's a great job.
The countdown to kickoff starts now.
From the WNDU studios, this is 16 News Now's Countdown to Kickoff.
And we start this countdown to kickoff with major news tonight. University President John Jenkins announced today he will be stepping down at the end of the academic year. Jenkins has led the university since 2005 through multiple changes, including the hiring of Jack Swarbrick, getting Notre Dame into the Association of American Universities, increasing campus diversity, handling the COVID pandemic, and more. A search for Jenkins' successor has already started. As per university bylaws, the president of Notre Dame must be a Holy Cross priest.
There's no place like home when home is the house that Rockne built. Thank you for joining us on Countdown to Kickoff. I'm Terry McFadden.
And I'm Tricia Sloma, joined by WHME Sports Director Chuck Freeby.
Tricia, the Irish college football playoff chances took a Louisville slugger to both headlights last Saturday night. It was cardinal sin for Sam Hartman early on, throwing his first interception of the season on the first drive of the game. U of L would make the Irish pay. Jack Plummer finds Jamari Thrash, putting the Cards in front 7-0. The Irish would respond with a touchdown in the second quarter, making it a tie game heading into halftime. Louisville turns on the accelerators in the second half, and so did Jawar Jordan. The star running back for the Cardinals dashed for not one but 2 long touchdown runs, giving Louisville a commanding 24-13 lead. Now late in the fourth, Hartman does find Mitchell Evans for his first touchdown of the year, and the Irish do recover an onside kick. But the comeback is cut short as Hartman throws his third pick of the game, and the Cardinal fans rush the field, taking down Notre Dame 33-20.
We're going to have to do a deep dive into exactly where the shortcomings happened at, and we got to get this thing figured out, and we got to turn it around because we got USC coming in next weekend. So we don't have a lot of time to feel sorry for ourselves. We better get back to work and start preparing for this next upcoming game.
After his performance, Sam Hartman may file a restraining order against Cardinal Stadium. Hartman turned the ball over 5 times, including 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles. It was a steady diet of surf and turf for the QB, sacked a season-high 5 times by Cardinal defenders. While those numbers fall on Hartman, his head coach says the whole team needs to be better on limiting sacks and turnovers.
Well, I think if you look at the turnovers, each one had a different reason. You know, the very first one by Sam, and Sam would tell you he wished he threw a better ball, but Rico's got to do a better job of not letting that ball get caught. You turn into a defender. And so it's not pointing a finger at anybody, it's pointing a finger at everybody.
And with the Irish losing that second game, that pretty much puts the nail in the coffin on their playoff chances. So that begs the question, how will Freeman and his staff keep the team motivated? It starts with 3 letters, USC. This week, the Irish have a chance to play spoiler with their cross-coast rivals, potentially heading into their first bye week of the season with momentum. But a loss could leave tons of questions looming into that same break. Freeman says moments like this are what make Notre Dame the program it is.
That's what a part of playing at Notre Dame is about. Man, we're fortunate. We get 4 prime-time games, and that's how we got to look at it. We get another prime-time game versus USC in Notre Dame Stadium. And if you don't have the bubbles in your stomach, then you're not the elite competitor we need you to be.
Bubbles in the stomach. And with a lot on this game, Notre Dame plays a team with arguably the best player in college football on their roster, Caleb Williams.
Last year's Heisman winner has led the Trojans to an undefeated mark so far and a top 10 ranking in the AP poll.
Yeah, we welcome in the Countdown's Julianne Pelusi for the first time tonight. Julianne, one could argue the game against the Irish will be the first true test Williams has faced so far this season.
Yeah, Terry, he hasn't needed bubbles in his stomach so far. Now, Williams is coming off of the worst game this season, but it was far from a bad game. The dual threat quarterback is almost certain to be the first pick in the upcoming NFL draft, and it's been pretty obvious why so far. Williams has thrown 22 touchdowns for the Trojans this year, and there's a real chance he could win the Heisman for the second year in a row. Now, of course, there's only one other guy that's done that. That is Archie Griffin, and even he believes that Williams could join him in accomplishing that feat.
Who knows who the Heisman Trophy winner will be, but Caleb certainly has a chance to do it again. He's off to a great start, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. You need to have that help along the way, and during my time at Ohio State, I had a great deal of help.
Always look for the helpers, that's what Mr. Rogers says. And if there's any time for Williams to have his Heisman moment this season, well, it's now at Notre Dame. The Trojans have 5 ranked opponents, including the Irish, left on their schedule. I'm Julianne Pelusi, back to you guys.
Oh, yeah. Now Golden's defense has quite the challenge tomorrow night, defending the man under center for the Trojans. Julianne, we're going to hear from you again at the end of the show with your keys to the game.
The Irish will look to bounce back tomorrow night after last week's loss to Louisville ended Notre Dame's 30-game regular season win streak against ACC opponents, a streak in the making since 2017, and that is the topic of today's Lock Monday Auto Group Irish fan poll on WNDU.com. This week we're asking, how does a 2-loss Irish team going into USC week change your opinion on this year's Notre Dame squad? Your choices: completely, somewhat, or not at all. Stay tuned. We'll reveal those results at the end of the show. We promise this edition of the Countdown is one for the history books, and after the break, we have a little history lesson from our own Terry McFadden.
Yeah, we'll take you back to 1973 and a missing artifact from that championship season. It's a story you'll only see on Countdown to Kickoff. I'll tell you how one of the balls from one of the biggest moments in that game and perhaps Notre Dame football history ended up in the hands of this Irish fan. Where is the ball now? Well, it's a story you'll have to see to believe just ahead.
And that leads us into our first Crispin Custom Painting Trivia question of the night. Terry just mentioned it. This is the 50-year anniversary of Notre Dame's 1973 national championship team. Who was the star of the USC game that season? Find the answer when we come back in just over 2 minutes.
The voters of St. Joe County spoke and decided enough was enough. They saw the consequences of decades of failed leadership, how promises given and promises broken played out in their own neighborhood. And now, with Republican leadership since 2022, St. Joe County's making a comeback with billions in unprecedented economic development, new high-paying jobs, and we're just getting started. The future depends on your vote. Vote Republican.
We invite you to shape your career at Modern-Ear. We are looking for general production, press operators, welders, and more. We believe that the success of Modern-Ear rests on the performance of quality people. With high and competitive starting wages, attendance bonuses, and shift bonuses, you will shape a strong career. Over 80 years strong, and we hire our team members directly and have never had any seasonal layoffs. Starting salary based on qualifications, but no experience is necessary. Now is the time to shape your career at Modern-Ear.
Bruno! Bruno! Pup on the run? No problem. With 5 drive modes, Road makes this a walk in the park.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get a low $328 per month lease on Rogue or get 0% APR financing for 36 months on the Rogue Platinum.
Get to Nissan, proud partner of Notre Dame Athletics.
It pushes you out of bed, up a mountain, off the high dive, It pulls up your bootstraps, keeps its eye on the prize. It embraces that change will always come, and that the road to success looks different for everyone. It's a doer, a driver, the catalyst of dreams. It's called confidence, and confidence changes everything. Everyone deserves financial confidence. That's why Teachers Credit Union is now Everwise, a new name, the same people powering your dreams.
As Indiana battles with unprecedented overdose rates, the Indiana Center for Recovery provides a sanctuary for hope and restoration, offering scientifically proven solutions for substance use disorder and mental health. We prioritize your comfort throughout the healing journey. Our seasoned professionals have guided thousands towards recovery, and it's time for you to discover your resilience and begin a new chapter with us at the Indiana Center for Recovery.
Here is your Crispin Custom Painting trivia answer.
Notre Dame held a 13-7 lead early in the third quarter when Eric Penick, behind the blocks of guards Frank Pomerico and Jerry DiNardo, raced 85 yards for an Irish touchdown. Notre Dame handed SC its first loss, 23-14, on its way to the national title.
Hey, this weekend, members of the 1973 Notre Dame football team will be in town for a reunion. 50 years since going undefeated and winning the national championship over Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
The team will be honored during the USC game, and that's no coincidence because 50 years ago this month, Notre Dame upended the undefeated Trojans in what is considered the turning point in Notre Dame's title run.
Yeah, and one iconic play lives on from that game as one of the greatest moments in Notre Dame football history, a play that this weekend promises a reunion of a different sort.
And now Notre Dame, following an SC punt, will get the ball for the first time here in the third quarter.
On their first offensive play of the second half, with the Irish nursing a 13-7 lead, running back Eric Penick takes a handoff from quarterback Tom Clements and gallops 85 yards into Irish immortality.
Penick is the fastest man on the field, 85 yards.
Talk about the exhilaration of taking the handoff from Tom Clements and running around the left side. What was going through your mind?
Gotta score a touchdown. Gotta go. All I knew was that we had been practicing all week to win, to be the best. And Air was there, and I was excited to show Air what I could do. So it was very, very exhilarating.
And certainly the highlight of your football career at Notre Dame, you think?
I know. I definitely know.
What Penick didn't know was that run would be the highlight of a lifetime for lifelong Notre Dame fan Dan Sekeli of South Bend, who was in the wrong place at the right time. Where were you when Eric Penick crossed the goal line on that 85-yard run?
I was in the south end zone, row 1, bleacher seats.
And how'd you get there?
The truth?
Yes.
We went over the wall.
So you weren't supposed to be there?
No.
Back then, there were bleachers along the wall that descended to field level, allowing the then 17-year-old Sekeli the perfect opportunity to be the first to greet Penick in the end zone. And then what happened when he scored that touchdown? What'd you do?
I met him in the end zone, wide-armed, and I wrapped my arms around him, and I came away with the ball.
Was it your intention to take the ball?
Not at all. I didn't want that ball, but he almost put it in my arms. And then all hell broke loose.
Eric Penick living up to the expectations.
I mean, there were literally dozens of people swarming him, right?
The whole bleach, yes, hundreds. Everybody was so happy. It was great.
Eric, until I brought it up this week, had you even thought about what happened to the football after you scored?
No. All I thought about the hug that Eric Pasheen gave me. I never even thought about where the football went.
So what did you after you got the ball from?
I just sat there, and they made us stand up 3 times. They thought somebody had hit it under the bleachers, but I had it in my Army coat.
So the ushers were looking for it, you hid it in your coat.
The ushers, the ball guy, everybody wanted to win that ball. They didn't know I had it in my Army coat.
And then you kept it, you stayed for the rest of the game.
The whole second half, my buddy didn't know I had it till we got outside the stadium, the old stadium.
What happened to the ball after you brought it home? Was it put in a special place, or did you guys actually play with it?
Well, once in a while my brother and I go out and throw it in the street, but it stayed up on a bookshelf.
What does that moment mean for you, especially coming up on the 50th anniversary of that game?
It's just exciting. It means everything to me for some reason. It's just fun.
But Sekeli admits his strip and score has, in some ways, haunted him over the years.
So I should have given it to Notre Dame.
Do you plan on ever giving it up?
I think about it all the time.
And what if you ever had the chance to meet Penick?
I would give it to him.
You'd meet
I would give it back to him.
You would give it back to him if you met him?
Here, Eric, yes, I would.
How big of a thrill would that be to be reunited after 50 years?
That'd be great. That'd be great. I would love it.
How happy are you that someone treasured that ball, that moment, preserved it, and now wants to return it to you 50 years later?
I'm extremely excited. That is the most exciting thing I have going on right now, because somebody that cherished the football that I carried to a goal, and the guy still has it. I'm cherishing the idea that I can relive some of the things that I did in the past with this football in my hand and say, here you go, Notre Dame.
Eric Penick will be at the Notre Dame bookstore on campus tomorrow morning from 9:30 until 11 a.m., signing his new book, A Notre Dame Man, The Life, Lore, and Runs of Eric Penick. It is during this book signing that Dan Sekeli plans to return that famed ball to Penick. It should be a special moment.
I can't imagine. This is going to be such a thrill. Are you planning to be there?
Well, we're going to have a crew there, yes.
Good.
Yeah, that's going to be an iconic moment itself.
Yeah, and what makes this story even more compelling is that the years have not been kind to either man from a health standpoint. Penick had a leg amputated due to diabetes and vascular problems. Sekeli was sidelined from work for several months following a head injury in a construction accident. But talking to both of them, I was just simply overwhelmed by their indomitable spirit and their enduring love of Notre Dame.
It connects them. And this football connects them.
Yeah.
How special.
Yeah.
What a story, Terry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, still to come, we are taking a deep dive into the offensive struggles for the Irish.
After the break, Mike Berardino and Tom Noy from the South Bend Tribune join the countdown with a look at what the Irish must do to keep up with USC on the scoreboard. After starting their season with 4 40-point games, that Irish offense has fallen flat.
Auto Park Ford continues to make buying simple with one price, one person, 1 hour. Our best price with one personal sales assistant gets you the keys in 1 hour. Experience it for yourself at Auto Park Ford today.
Right now, at any Monteith's Best One location, take advantage of their fall service special. It's a Valvoline full synthetic oil change for just $29.95. That's right, just $29.95 plus tax for a Valvoline full synthetic oil change. Up to 5 quarts, some restrictions apply. Offer expires October 31st. Visit MonteithTire.com or stop into any Monteith's Best One location for details. Monteith's Best One Tire and Auto Care. Selling tires, serving people.
Hey honey, I got an idea. Let's paint. The paint bled under the tape. Ah!
You missed a spot.
We need more paint.
Look out!
Painting isn't fun.
I got an idea. Let's call 5-Star Painting.
Depend on the experts to keep the chaos in line and give you peace of mind. 5-Star Painting, serving all of Michiana.
Summer is over, kids are back to school, and before you know it, the end of the year will be here. Hi, I'm Dr. Guy Moore with Aegis Dental Group, reminding you to use your dental insurance before you lose it. The end of the year also provides a unique opportunity to use 2 years of insurance for your treatment. With double insurance and easy financial arrangements, affording your dental care has never been easier. So call us today and discover what trusted dentistry is all about.
Aegis Dental Group, trusted dentistry.
Auto Park Ford continues to make buying simple with one price, one person, 1 hour. Our best price with one personal sales assistant gets you the keys in 1 hour. Experience it for yourself at Auto Park Ford today.
Notre Dame has only scored a combined 55 points in the last 3 games.
Hard to believe. What can the Irish do to regain that early season form?
Mike Berardino and Tom Noy discuss in our NDU Insider segment.
Tom Noy, Mike Berardino from the South Bend Tribune with us. And Tom talked about the offensive line problems versus Duke last week. Fellas, they became worse against Louisville. Mike, can Joe Rudolph get this offensive line fixed?
Well, it'd be best if he did it during the week of practice instead of during the game. I mean, when you're mixing and matching, you're flipping guards from one side to the other, you're changing centers in the middle of the game just to increase the competition level. That's a practice thing, and that's you'd like to think that the one thing that might come out of it is Billy Schrouth, who's got so much upside, distinguished himself, and Pat Coogan may be dealing with the knee still, and that might be the change.
Tom, what did you see? Can Joe Rudolph fix this?
Make the changes, do some adjustments against Tennessee State or Central Michigan, but to do it on the road against Louisville in a night situation, undefeated team, raucous atmosphere, that's a tough ask of this offensive line. I don't know if Joe Rudolph can fix it because we're not sure about the health of Blake Fisher. We mentioned Pat Coogan. He's a little banged up. We don't know what's going on with Zeke Correll, who was pulled from the lineup against Louisville. Find your best 5, especially against this team, and just roll those 5 out and live with the consequences.
The debate this week has also been play call versus execution. Last night, or actually Tuesday night, Jared Parker said he was responsible. Can he fix it?
The accountability factor, again, off the charts with these guys, where they sit and they talk to us. They could run and say, no comment, we don't want to talk about it. Jared Parker has been up front and said, I've got to call a better game. But I think in some cases, too, the playmakers have to deliver. With the Chris Tyree possible touchdown in the end zone the other night, that ball goes through his hands. You've got to make that catch. The offense has to make more plays to make not only the offense look good, but Jared Parker look good as well.
You mentioned they're dinged up. How dinged up is this team, not only physically, but mentally?
Well, that's the great unknown, and it's one. This is where I think they have to plug into the idea that each week's about reaching full potential. As much as that sounded like something you'd see on the back of a cereal box, it makes sense when you have the 2 losses and you no longer can be in the playoff by all accounts. It really is just about finding the motivation day to day, practice period to practice period, and of course there should be no shortage of motivation against USC, but no doubt they need some good things to happen.
Tom, you were over there on Tuesday. Any mojo left in this team?
Very little right now. Second time in 3 weeks where they have to convince themselves that they're a better football team than what they showed. I think it was easy to do when you have the near miss against Ohio State. They were still up. We're going to Duke. They're undefeated. Night game. We can play our best. Listening to some of the players on Tuesday night, it was almost like they were trying to convince themselves that they can still be a good football team, and they're not worn out. Anybody would be worn out given the schedule and the 8-week grind and the regular season that this team has been on.
After the break, I sit down with one of our own. We'll take a look at my interview with Fox Sports and former WNDU reporter Tom Rinaldi when the countdown returns in just over 2 minutes.
Choosing the right windows can be overwhelming. Creating the right look that best fits your lifestyle and character of your home is why homeowners choose Hanapo. For 22 years running, builders have used Andersen windows more than any other brand. If you are looking to update your current home or considering new construction, choose Hanapo for your Andersen windows and doors. Our team will help you create the look and feel you want so you can enjoy life's special moments at home. Visit one of the Hanapo showrooms near you.
Hey Ryan, what brings you in today?
Hey Joe, I want to be a part of the First Aid Bank team. I protect the goal for Notre Dame, just like First Aid Bank protects the financial goals of the people of Michiana.
Our customers have goals too, like buying a new home or sending their kids to college. First Aid Bank is here to help them achieve those goals.
Careful Joe, here comes the biscuit.
Great save, Ryan.
Time for a celly. Should we go tarps off?
Let's leave the tarps on.
What's your pleasure? Award-winning wings, burgers, and wraps? A beer lineup that'll answer all your questions? Appetizers and sides that'll pin your flavor meter? And all the sauces you could ever want? Plus a few sauces more? You know where to go. You're always laid back, always ready to please local Wings Etc. Grill and Pub. When you want the real deal, come have some good food, great times at Wings Etc. We're here to please.
Bruno! Bruno!
Pup on the run? No problem. With 5 drive modes, Rogue makes this a walk in the park.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get a low $328 per month lease on Rogue, or get 0% APR financing for 36 months on the Rogue Platinum.
Get to Nissan, proud partner of Notre Dame Athletics.
We invite you to shape your career at Mountaineer. We are looking for general production, press operators, welders, and more. We believe that the success of Mountaineer rests on the performance of quality people. With high and competitive starting wages, attendance bonuses, and shift bonuses, you will shape a strong career. Over 80 years strong, and we hire our team members directly and have never had any seasonal layoffs. Starting salary based on qualifications, but no experience is necessary. Now is the time to shape your career at Mountaineer.
One of the great storytellers in sports joins us now. Long before Tom Rinaldi was part of Fox's Big Noon Kickoff, he was pursuing stories as a one-man band here at WNDU and occasionally helping me out on Friday nights reporting high school football and recording highlights. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you back to WNDU. What memories do you have when you come in the building today, and what did this place mean to your career? It was your first TV job, right?
First of all, let's begin with the fact it's not lost on me that it's a Friday. And I'm a little bit aware that at any point you could hand me a piece of paper with 3 or 4 games on it and say, we need highlights from these, make sure you're efficient, unlike the way you used to do it. Get the highlights, tell the story of the game, and get that stuff back to me and get it edited. So I'm ready, Coach.
That's coming at the end of the interview.
Put me in, Chuck. Okay, all right, you got it.
So what did this place mean to you?
It meant the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I graduated from college. I was a high school teacher and a coach. I did that for a number of years. I made a pivot, and this was my first job in reporting. Like you mentioned, one-man band, shoot it, edit it, write it, narrate it, and get it on the air. And it was just a tremendous place to learn. And I mean this earnestly, because of people like you who were patient with a total novice and who took me under your wing and mentored me and encouraged me at a time when as close as I could come to sports was shooting the highlights for you or occasionally getting the chance to do a Notre Dame piece because I was a news reporter.
Well, that obviously has changed as people have seen at CNN and ESPN and now Fox. How do you see your role at Fox Sports now?
It's been great. I mean, I was at ESPN for 19 years. I'll forever love ESPN. It was an amazing experience to work on College Game Day. But now, Big Noon Kickoff comes here to Notre Dame, which is why I'm here. I'm thrilled for that. Still telling those stories we told on Game Day, but for Big Noon. We have a story on Audric Estime that will air tomorrow, kind of about his family journey. We hope people will see and be inspired by and understand just how special a person he is. I do sidelines, which is like the other side of the coin. There's the story and then the sideline. I'll be at Cleveland for the Niners, at the Browns on Sunday with Aaron Andrews on the other sideline and Greg and Kevin in the booth.
So speaking of sidelines.
Oh, no.
This is, I believe, in the 1995 state finals. I was down there reporting, and look who's going to join me in this report.
Oh, my goodness, look at this.
First of all, I was not going to give up the mic easily because I've been going on for about 30 seconds here.
Oh,
there we are.
Look at that. Gee, the hair is bad now. It was bad then. I haven't gotten any better. What's wrong with me?
No, there's nothing wrong with you.
Still the Italian hand gestures going. Chuck, look at you. You're patiently trying to say, Tom, rap. It's my show. What are you doing?
And I think just to hold up tradition, we mis-supered you as well. So what have you learned about these two teams in your week of prep?
Well, I think when it comes to Notre Dame, the most fascinating thing to me is here you have Marcus learning on the job and having to rally this team through mistakes and failures and having to grow through that. He didn't get to cut his teeth out of the white-hot spotlight. This is the job he got as the first head job. I think he's an amazing leader. I have immense respect for him, and I think the team's on the right track. I'm a total believer. Lincoln I've known for a long time.
Yeah.
Chuck, if Lincoln can get the defense right, if he can, I think the sky's the limit. But that's been this persistent challenge for him. Weather, as we know, could be a huge factor in favor of the Irish in the way they like to run offensively their offensive style.
It's been about 25 years since he reported on the countdown. It's great to have him on, and he can wear that ND logo because, well, he's paying tuition. So
our son Jack goes here as a sophomore. Yes, he does. We love ND.
Thanks a lot. Great to have you
Chuck,
back.
it's awesome to see you.
The countdown continues after this.
Get 4 Arby's classic roast beef sandwiches for just $10. That's 1 for now, 1 after that, 1 to celebrate the first 2, and 1 more because that's how many 4 is. Arby's, we have the meat.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame. Then and now. Come build Notre Dame with us.
Your patio's beautiful. Who created this amazing design?
Fagley.
Your swimming pool is absolutely gorgeous. We call Fagley.
John, your fire pit and outdoor kitchen are fantastic. Who did the installation?
Fagley. Fagley Landscape.
Many questions, always the same answer. Fagley Landscape, bringing you personalized designs and old-world craftsmanship for retaining walls, brick patios, swimming pools, outdoor kitchens, and water features. Make the most of your outdoor living space and call the certified Unilock installers at Fagley Landscape today.
Hey, First Source Banker guy. Is your mobile app as helpful as you are?
It does monitor your credit score in real time.
Good start.
Provides tips to improve it.
Useful.
Helps track your spending.
Like that.
Open a checking or savings account.
So convenient.
Set travel plans.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Pay bills right from the app.
Want it.
Money transfers.
Need it.
Deposit checks.
Love it.
It's your card. Take control. First Source Bank can help.
Thanks, First Source.
Score big at DR Trailer Sales with the fall savings sale. Save on enclosed trailers, pontoon trailers, goosenecks, landscape utility trailers, car haulers, horse trailers, and more. DR Trailer Sales is one of America's largest trailer dealers. Their volume means better trailers at better prices for you. So if you need to haul it, you need to haul it down to DR Trailer Sales today. Score big with the fall savings sale going on now at DR Trailer Sales on US 12. That's 710 West Chicago Road in White Pigeon, Michigan.
Roast beef. 4 for $10. Yeah, you know. That classic Arby's. Roast beef. Roast beef. 4 for $10. Arby's. We have the meat.
From the WNDU studios, this is 16 News Now's Countdown to Kickoff.
Let's kick off the second half of our show now with some quick hits. We'll start with a hole in Notre Dame's offense the last few weeks, and that has been production from the receiving corps. In the third quarter, a pretty good ball goes right off the fingertips of Chris Tyree. If he catches that, the Irish take a 17-10 lead. Instead, they had to settle for 3. No receiver had more than 3 receptions Saturday. In fact, a former walk-on and lacrosse player, Jordan Faison, had the most receiving yards out of the group with 48-36 on this touchdown catch in the second quarter. Faison talked with the media this week about what the moment meant to him.
Mom was tearing up. I looked like my dad was about to cry, and I kind of saw like they screen recorded something off ESPN where the camera panned to them and they were hugging each other. So it was definitely amazing for me to see like how proud they are of me and all the work that I put in.
Something the Irish will have to do better to stop Caleb Williams and company is open field tackling. Jawar Jordan broke free past the secondary last week for Louisville, leading to 45-yard and 21-yard touchdown runs against the Irish on his way to 143 rushing yards. Those stats, something no running back has ever done against Notre Dame in the last decade outside of Ezekiel Elliott and Leonard Fournette. This week, the Irish face another explosive player on offense, potential #1 overall pick, Caleb Williams.
Defensively, the biggest thing was the missed tackles on the second and third level that led to big plays, and it didn't happen often, but the times that it happened, they led to touchdowns, and so we have to make sure that we continue to enhance the way we're tackling at the second and third level.
At the end of the day, I think it's just one of those things you just kind of think too much. I mean, personally, I know myself, I feel like I've been just thinking too much when I come to tackle, just shooting your shot and then translating what you do in practice to the game.
The group the Irish defense has to tackle tomorrow night is the highest scoring bunch in college football. Lincoln Riley's USC squad is scoring at an alarming clip of 51.8 points per game. That's even more prolific than the 2005 squad from the Bush Push game. We've already told you about the quarterback, Caleb Williams, but they have a solid running back in Marshawn Lloyd, who is on pace for a 1,000-yard season, and 6 receivers with 10 catches or more. Defensive coordinator Al Golden knows his guys will have their hands full.
You can't hide from the fact that the skill, the talent of the quarterback, the running back room, the way they distribute the ball, it jumps off the screen. So you got to get focused and get ready.
He's a playmaker. He won the Heisman. He's a really good athlete. So he's definitely someone that you got to take care of, and you got to make sure you're on your A game. So as we go into practice, we're making sure we're trying to leave no stone unturned and just keep executing.
The challenge would be overwhelming if it weren't for the fact that the USC defense finds ways to keep Trojan opponents in the game. Colorado and Arizona have combined for 82 points against the men of Troy the last 2 weeks. There are players like leading tackler Jalen Smith and sack man Jamil Muhammad who have great individual numbers. But as a team, SC allows nearly a quarter mile of yardage per game. Trojans defensive coordinator Alex Grinch still believes in his guys.
The opponent's going to make it very difficult for you. I mean, they're going to try to, mess with your eyes and token play fakes, and that's one of the things that kind of the second level of defense kind of struggle with a little bit. But no, I would highlight the trust end of things. And sometimes too, when your back's against the wall, and you'd like to do it when your back's not against the wall. Just say we're going to show up on a Saturday and do it from the jump. When your back's against the wall, what else you got? It's just trusting each other and trusting yourselves, and I give the guys a lot of credit for doing that.
Many asked the question after each time Sam Hartman hit the ground last Saturday night, what is wrong with the offensive line?
The Countdown's Drew Sanders joins us to try to answer that question for us. Drew?
Yeah, guys, in the midst of their 7th straight week playing a Saturday football game, Notre Dame went with an interesting strategy on the interior offensive line. They rotated guys in and out at the guard and center spots, a move that team captain Joe Alt confirmed was intentional and planned on during last week's practices. The results, however, were probably not what the Irish had in mind going into this one, as they saw a season low in rushing yards and yielded a season high in quarterback sacks. Coach Freeman talked about the potential for rotating guys again this week, despite the less than stellar results against the Cardinals.
I feel like everybody's had a good week of preparation. We'll go into the game, plan to use the normal starting 5, but again, play time at times dictates, putting guys in the game. If we don't play to the standard that we believe our offense or anybody on our team should, then you have to be able to put guys in the game that you feel can do their job. And so I don't ever want our guys playing with fear of being taken out of the game, but we also have to make sure that our guys that are in the game are executing.
Now, one of the names not involved with the pre-planned switching was right tackle Blake Fisher, although he did leave the game at one point with a hand injury. Coach Freeman says the big fella's good to go this week, however. We'll see how he and the rest of the line fares against USC. Guys, back to you.
All right, Drew, we'll see how much time Sam Hartman has to throw in the pocket tomorrow night. Drew, again, thanks a lot.
Notre Dame's depth on defense appears to be in better shape than going into the game against Louisville. We take a look at that in this week's Irish injury report. The grad senior safety Thomas Harper expected to be back against the Trojans. He had been in concussion protocol. Junior D lineman Gabe Rubio also set to come out of concussion protocol. He also missed time earlier this year with a knee injury following that season opener against Navy.
Well, now let's go outside the lines to meet someone who has witnessed more Notre Dame games than you can imagine. But hey, it's his job. I found one of the longest serving ushers at Notre Dame. This year is Bob Budney's 57th year, helping guests have the best game day experience at Notre Dame.
Morning. Welcome to the Goose. They're so friendly, and they thank us all the time for letting them in.
On game day weekends, Bob Budney loves to show off Notre Dame's trophies to fans who visit the Goog.
For them to see all of the trophies that Notre Dame has won, the Heisman trophies, the national championships, the Four Horsemen.
He's a natural at greeting visitors.
Welcome. Thanks.
And sharing the history.
You're welcome to walk through here.
Bob is living history. Wait, how many years?
57 years. And I'll keep going and as long as I'm healthy and capable.
Most of those years, 51 in fact, he was an usher inside the stadium. He witnessed 4 national championship seasons.
I wanted to go till we had one more, because I started in '66 and we won the national championship.
He got started all those years ago with the help of a neighbor.
As soon as I got out of the service, my neighbor asked me if I wanted to usher football. And I said, sure. So that's when I signed up in '66.
And in all those years, he never missed a home game. Well, almost.
I missed one game when my nephew that graduated from Notre Dame got married on a Notre Dame home opener in Chicago.
What's wrong with him?
It was his wife that picked the wedding. I love Notre Dame sports, and it keeps me busy. You know, I don't want to be like some people, they retire and then they sit around the house for a while and they don't last long.
But at 82, Bob is still here and will stay here, helping fans appreciate the history of excellence. What do you love so much about Notre Dame?
I think the friendliness of everybody. I love all the sports. I love to see them win. But when they lose, I know the sun's going to shine the next day.
Oh, I love him. Bob turns 83 in a couple of weeks, so if you see him around campus, be sure to wish him a happy birthday. And you know, 57 years may seem like a long time, but Bob still has a long ways to go if he wants to break the record, because that was set by a guy by the name of Ray Gervais, spending 65 years as an usher at Notre Dame.
Well, if he's waiting until they win the next title, he's hoping it doesn't take 8 years. That's for sure.
Right. What a guy.
Good stuff, Tricia. Thank you. Well, coming up, we're talking trophies, and we went to the place that makes the crown jewel up for grabs between USC and Notre Dame, and the special details behind it.
So we've given you a big hint as we lead into our second Chrisman Custom Painting Trivia Test. What's the trophy at stake in the Notre Dame USC football game?
Hut, hike into your neighborhood Martin's supermarkets for the best tailgate tastes in Michiana. Deli fresh subs, Martin's famous fried chicken, veggie trays, wraps, dips, and much more. Also, get delicious bakery items to satisfy your tailgate sweet tooth. Order online at martins-supermarkets.com or stop in your neighborhood Martin's Deli. Everything you need to get game day ready is at your neighborhood Martin's supermarkets.
Service is important to us because, as you said, we started there and we were in service first, and then we were able to go into sales. Anybody can sell, not everybody can service. It's a good feeling to know that we're still doing what we started doing, only we're doing it better and sometimes a lot faster even. This is how we got to 50 years.
We got it, Bob Miller's.
2700 South Main, South Bend.
At Nova Federal, we value freedom. The freedom to work and raise your family in a safe and supportive community. At Nova, we also want to help you achieve financial freedom. At Nova, that freedom is always within reach. Locally grown, Nova has deep roots and a history of serving our community for over 80 years. Next level, personalized service by experts you can trust and industry-leading banking technology enable us to find every way possible to save you money. Visit us at AnovaFederal.org and find out how your financial freedom is always within reach.
We invite you to shape your career at Modern-Ear. We are looking for general production, press operators, welders, and more. We believe that the success of Modern-Ear rests on the performance of quality people. With high and competitive starting wages, attendance bonuses, and shift bonuses, you will shape a strong career. Over 80 years strong, and we hire our team members directly and have never had any seasonal layoffs. Starting salary based on qualifications, but no experience is necessary. Now is the time to shape your career at Modern-Ear.
Here is your Chrisman Custom Painting Trivia answer.
Beginning in 1952, the winner of this rivalry has received a jeweled shillelagh, actually originally made in Ireland and donated by the Notre Dame Alumni Club of Los Angeles. Images Jewelers in Elkhart makes the ruby-adorned Trojan head for USC wins and the emerald-studded shamrocks denoting Irish victories.
And that local tie to the jeweled shillelagh is one of the many things that makes this trophy one of the most unique in all of college sports.
Ahead of the big game, the Countdown's Christine Karsten stopped by Images Jewelers to see just what goes into making the shillelagh.
He's the gem behind the jeweled shillelagh.
You'll be sitting with people and they'll mention it, and I go, well, yeah, I made all the emblems for it. Yeah, what? Can you give me one of those?
Bob Close has been in the jewelry business for more than 40 years and co-owns Images Jewelers. When it comes to the jeweled shillelagh, though, he says it's who you know, not what you know.
An old friend who was an old jeweler, retired, he and his family had a niece that worked in the department that dealt with this in Notre Dame.
In a way, you could say he saved the shillelagh.
The shillelagh had stopped in progression, and they had, I don't know, about 10 we had to put on.
In the simplest terms, here's how it works. First, you need a shillelagh.
It's a piece of like briar wood, which is harder than heck.
Next comes the fancy stuff. They use a 3D printer, making this process even faster.
4 hours, we can grow 50.
The wax pattern is encased in special material and melted off in a kiln. In goes the jeweler's bronze, which looks like gold, and voila, the perfect piece of history that is tarnish resistant.
We only want to make these Notre Dame ones. That means they win every time.
When Notre Dame wins, here comes the emerald green. When USC wins, it's the ruby red. And how about this fun fact? All the jewels are lab grown.
It's fun, because when you're Notre Dame is it's an institution around here.
What a cool story. And if you want to get your hands on one of these emblems, you can't.
Yeah, it's a tradition that will stay between Notre Dame and USC. Well, at least for now.
So how are fans feeling about the state of Irish football after that upset loss to Louisville? George Millay checks the pulse of Notre Dame fans as the countdown returns in just over 2 minutes.
Is your heater ready for the cold weather? Are you sure it's ready? Make sure your heater is ready with 4 Winds Custom Heating and Air Conditioning. Call or visit our website today.
We love binge watching our money with Lake City Bank Digital. It has action.
Oh, looks like we can finally afford those obedience classes.
Romance.
Look, they weren't that expensive.
Suspense.
What is that charge for?
Oh, don't look. You don't want to know.
Oh, yeah, we're hooked.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day, now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital.
When it comes to insurance, it's important to have a plan that fits you. Get a plan that's too big.
That's not gonna fit.
And you may pay for insurance you don't need.
Alice.
And a plan that's too small can leave you without adequate protection. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help you design a plan that meets your needs so it's just right for you. Insurance that fits just right, so you can kick back and relax.
See Shelter Agent Armando Gomez Mora in Goshen or John Hampton in Plymouth.
Wait, hold up. DQ put fries and onion rings in a chicken strip basket? Did you know this? Oh, of course you did. It's sitting right in front of you. Sorry. I mean, you got fries and onion rings together. Like, is this for real?
Hey, baby, wait.
Oh, yep. That just got really real. Grab a chicken strip and fry rings basket.
Okay, just one.
DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
As Indiana battles with unprecedented overdose rates, the Indiana Center for Recovery provides a sanctuary for hope and restoration, offering scientifically proven solutions for substance use disorder and mental health. We prioritize your comfort throughout the healing journey. Our seasoned professionals have guided thousands towards recovery, and it's time for you to discover your resilience and begin a new chapter with us at the Indiana Center for Recovery.
Weekdays. Catch up with Michiana's only full hour of local news and information at noon. Watch 16 News Now at noon with Lauren Moss and Joshua Short. A full hour of news, community activities, plus your first alert forecast. Watch 16 News Now at noon, weekdays.
Back on the countdown, time to reveal how fans voted in this week's Lock Monday Auto Group Irish fan poll at WNDU.com. We asked Irish fans, how does a two-loss Irish team going into USC week change your opinion on this year's squad? 39% say it's completely changed your mind. 30% say somewhat. 31% will never change your mind about anything. As always, thanks for participating in this week's Lock Monday Auto Group Irish fan poll. Make sure you watch Countdown each week during the season for more polls like this one. A tough loss last week has Irish fans reeling, but a win against rival USC, oh, it would heal some wounds heading into Notre Dame's first bye week.
Oh, you think? What are fans saying about this year's team more than halfway into the season?
The Countdown's George Mallet has more in this week's buzz around campus.
A gray Friday morning found the Eddy Street Commons abuzz with talk of the Irish-Trojans matchup. What are your thoughts about USC and this big weekend?
We're going to completely crush them. It's going to be embarrassing for them.
Last weekend really disappointed me. How did you come out of that, and what's your state of mind today?
Yeah, it was a sad weekend. Rough to get over it, but I think we just got to get in a better mindset and be positive for this weekend.
A lot of us were down in the dumps following the Louisville game. Doesn't seem to matter. There is unbridled optimism as we head into the weekend.
Obviously, we have that loss to motivate our guys, and we're going to go out there and do well.
Give me your sense of optimism.
You know, I'm feeling pretty good. Notre Dame likes to play to the skill of the team that it's playing. So ideally, because USC is better than Louisville, maybe we'll be doing a little better this week. So I'm feeling pretty good.
We had a rough one last week.
We did have a rough one last week, but we've been playing great. I think it's going to be awesome. I think we're going to pull out a win.
For Countdown to Kickoff, I'm George Mallet.
Up until this point, the weather forecast, the kickoff forecast has kind of been a footnote in everything because temperatures, conditions have been so nice. Finally, we're getting to a point with USC coming to town. We're into more Michiana, South Bend type weather, football weather as Notre Dame knows it. 50 degrees at kickoff. Scattered showers will be around, but in terms of the kicking game, we need to concentrate on that northeast wind at 15 to 25. 47 degrees by the fourth quarter. That's going to feel like the upper 30s.
We're on our final drive of this countdown to kickoff, but we've saved our best for last.
Yeah, what the Irish need to do to pull out a win against USC and some score predictions after this 2-minute TV timeout.
Get 4 Arby's Classic Roast Beef Sandwiches for just $10. That's one for now, one after that, one to celebrate the first 2, and one more because that's how many 4 is. Arby's, we have the meat.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
I build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame.
We build Notre Dame. Then and now. Come build Notre Dame with us.
Score big at DR Trailer Sales with the fall savings sale. Save on enclosed trailers, pontoon trailers, goosenecks, landscape utility trailers, car haulers, horse trailers, and more. DR Trailer Sales is one of America's largest trailer dealers. Their volume means better trailers at better prices for you. So if you need to haul it, you need to haul it down to DR Trailer Sales today. Score big with the fall savings sale going on now at DR Trailer Sales on US 12. That's 710 West Chicago Road in White Pigeon, Michigan.
Every leap forward starts with asking, can we? Can we use genetics to fight cancer? Robots to save a heart from miles away? Biology and psychology to heal the whole person? We can. Corewell Health.
Here's what's on tonight starting at 8 on Channel 16. Then stay tuned for 16 News Now. Tonight's primetime lineup is sponsored by your Platinum Chevy dealers. Save big on the 2023 Chevy Silverado. Visit PlatinumChevyDealers.com.
Roast beef. 4 for $10. Yeah, you know. That classic Arby's. Roast beef. Roast beef. 4 for $10. Arby's. We have the meat.
It's time for our keys to the game, brought to you by Dairy Queen. Happy tastes good.
And if you want some fries Saturday night, either DQ or either team's defensive back.
Julianne Pelusi, we start with you. Who is your X factor for the Irish?
Trish, I'm going with Jordan Faison, the lacrosse Betty, on his new football scholarship. He's quick and reliable and has been a shot in the arm for the Irish shaken up wide receivers room. Notre Dame needs a guy who's going to be consistent and show up running those deep routes so USC's defense isn't thinking, oh, this play is going to be a short pass to tight end Mitchell Evans every play.
Julianne, I like where you're coming from. I'm going to go to the opposite side of the ball. Defensive back Thomas Harper has been a crucial piece of the defense this year. He missed last week, and the Irish gave up their highest point total all season. Now, I'm not saying his absence was the sole reason, but it certainly didn't help. Going up against one of the nation's best quarterbacks this week, you want to bring as many of your best defenders as you can. The return of Harper is an impactful one that shouldn't be overlooked this weekend.
Drew, thank you. Chuck, your factor?
I may sound like a broken record or these days a broken stream, but can we get the ball to Jeremiah Love, please? It sure looks like Audric Estime is banged up, and Jeremiah Love has been pure excitement anytime he touches the ball all season. He has speed to burn. He could electrify that stadium tomorrow night. Turn the stadium into the Love Shack and feed number 12.
All right, keys to win. Julianne, what's it going to take for the Irish to win tomorrow?
Oh, gosh, the Love Shack. Marcus Freeman, meanwhile, he was out-coached by Jeff Brom from kickoff until the clock struck zeros in the fourth quarter last weekend in Louisville. He told us after the loss his team wasn't prepared, and it starts with the coaching to make things right. He's had a stagnant offense 3 weeks in a row. Did he prepare his players well enough to not get crushed at the line of scrimmage again? And is the play calling going to be better? It's up to the head coach to make sure his guys are getting their jobs done to beat USC. Drew?
Julianne, my key to win is going to come between the lines this week, and that's to run the Trojans out of town. Last week was by far Notre Dame's worst effort in the ground game from a number standpoint. USC, though, isn't even top 75 against the run when it comes to yards allowed per game. This is a perfect bounce-back spot for Audric Estime and Jeremiah Love and Jabron Payne, and you get it. Irish will need to pound the rock and keep SC's offense off the field to pick up a win this weekend.
Education for the youngsters in the room. In the 60s, CCR was Creedon's Clearwater Revival. Tomorrow night, CCR is Contain Caleb's Running. Last year, the Irish looked like they were trying to catch a dog that got loose on the field chasing Williams around the Coliseum. If that doesn't change, there's a bad moon on the rise, and we'll know by the end of the night if Notre Dame is the fortunate son.
I see what you did there. So that brings us to the final score predictions. Drew, what do you say?
Well, Tricia, I think it's a close game with plenty of points on both sides, but I've got USC edging out the Irish 31-27. Indy looked fatigued last week. That's the last thing you want to be with Caleb Williams and company coming to town. I'll take the Trojans.
I'm going to go the opposite. Notre Dame has struggled scoring the last 3 weeks, but USC's defense has a little Swiss cheese potential to it with some holes. So even though there's recency bias that, maybe the Irish can't score more than 3 touchdowns, I think they can against USC. And let's tack on a field goal to those 3 touchdowns, 24-21 Irish.
All right, thanks, guys. Notre Dame has a reputation to save, and they're going to give it everything they've got, especially at home. I say Irish win this one 28-24.
Yeah. Arizona scored 41 points against USC last week. I say the fickle Irish offense will score 20 points fewer. But once again, the defense will bail them out for a 21-20 win.
I have been wrong before. Shoot, I was wrong last week. I wouldn't mind being wrong this week. But this was a game I thought Notre Dame would lose at the start of the year, and there has been nothing to change my mind, not even Engelbrecht's forecast. 38-31 USC. That's going to do it for this edition of the Countdown. Folks, we have set the table for the Irish and the Trojans, and now it's time for the programs to deliver. For all of us in front of the camera and behind the scenes, thanks for joining us. Kickoff between Notre Dame and USC is tomorrow night at 7:30 right here on WNDU. And after the game, we've got highlights and post-game reaction from Marcus Freeman. So for now, so long from South Bend. We'll see you next week on Countdown to Kickoff.
Hi, I'm Pete Davidson.
Hey, what's up? Your host, Pete Davidson.
Oh, word?
Yeah. With musical guest Ice Spice.
Nice.
I'm waiting for that final person.
Come on, Glennis.
My team is full!
Wait. I thought you have one more. I think you've got one more.
Do I? One more?
The Voice, new Monday and Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
What if all of Michiana's greatest collectibles, comics, sports cards, and gaming stores combined under one roof? You would get warehouse comics, cards, and gaming on Edison Road in Mishawaka. From a sea of comics to a wall of Hot Wheels, live gaming rooms to thousands of sports cards, toys and collectibles from Funko Pops to Star Wars. Great Christmas gift ideas. That's right, Winston. At Warehouse Comics, Cards, and Gaming, we buy, sell, and trade. You have to see it to believe it. So see it today. Warehouse Comics, Cards, and Gaming.
We invite you to shape your career at Moderneer. We are looking for general production, press operators, welders, and more. We believe that the success of Moderneer rests on the performance of quality people. With high and competitive starting wages, attendance bonuses, and shift bonuses, you will shape a strong career. Over 80 years strong, and we hire our team members directly and have never had any seasonal layoffs. Starting salary based on qualifications, but no experience is necessary. Now is the time to shape your career at Moderneer.
Friday Night Football highlights at 11. I looked to Will and I said, "You hit Chris? Like, you actually hit Chris?" And he's like, "Yeah."
It was one of the most astonishing Oscar moments ever. Tonight, in an intimate, exclusive interview, Jada Pinkett Smith opens up about that and so much more, including her intensely screwed